going to walk you through how to fit a Cavesson. And the thing to remember is the fit and the quality of the Cavesson should be conducive to the feeling we're trying to convey in the in-hand work. I prefer that the Cavesson fit well, almost like your pants. What you want the horse to think about when they're working is their legs and the aids and your body, not the gear. Once you put the gear on, it should disappear into the background just like your pants. So if your pants are too loose, you can't move fluidly because you're always trying to hold them up. But if they're too tight, they are preventing you from being mobile, and so it's going to be distracting and uncomfortable, as well as produce a feeling that you did not intend to produce with the aids you're giving. And I'm going to show you what I mean by well-fitting. Before I put the Cavesson on, I'm going to make sure to unbuckle things. So I unbuckled the throat latch, and I'm going to loosen the noseband. And that is so similar to when you put on your pants, you unbutton them. You don't want to mash all of these tight things over your horse's face. So then I get things into an organization that it's going to be easy to lift up comfortably. Because the intent of in-hand work is to loosen and stabilize, you want to be careful that when you put the equipment on, you aren't tightening the horse and destabilizing them. So the manner in which you put the Cavesson on is going to be with a respectful feel toward the horse. So I like to just get the halter out of the way. When I put the Cavesson on, I'll do it similar to a halter where I'll take the top of the Cavesson, reach around the top of the horse behind the ear, and just softly slide that over. Then I will open the noseband and present it so that it's not rubbing up against his whiskers or pulling his hair backward. And then I'm going to attach and fit it from here. So I'm going to raise it to the height where the noseband can be just below the bony little ridge here. I don't want it any lower because here we're talking about very sensitive tissue, very sensitive nasal bone. We have a lot of things in this area that we don't want to restrict. We want to make sure the horse is able to work and move their jaw, so I'm putting my fingers in his mouth just to show you. He needs to be able to work his jaw. So if the Cavesson noseband is too low, that's going to inhibit the mobility of his jaw. And that leads me to the second part here, is that if I have this noseband too loose, it's going to flop up and down on his nose, and when I connect the line is going to move this all over the place. So let's say it's loose enough that it's wiggling up and down and sliding all over the place. He's not going to be able to think about his body. He's going to be thinking about the sensory input that is very disruptive on his face. So that's not going to be a good fit. But if it's too tight, it's also going to put pressure on facial nerves. It's going to be annoying or painful, and he's not going to be able to focus on his legs. So where I like to have it is just below this bony ridge right here, and tight enough that it's not going to slide around, but not so tight that it's going to cause him discomfort. So I'm going to find about the place where I can fit two fingers in here easily. So this is a comfortable fit where it's not going to slide around when I attach the line. It's not going to be sliding around and getting in his eye, driving him nuts, banging on his nose, but he's going to still be able to work his jaw, move his tongue. So we have plenty of mobility still available, but he's not having to run by holding his pants up. So that's one of my, I think, biggest pet peeves about in-hand work, when people are well-meaning trying to keep the horse comfortable by making the gear too loose, and then it bangs around and provides a very sloppy feel. So this is a good fit where it is holding itself in the place that it needs to go, but it's not disrupting his ability to move well. So just like your pants, once you put them on, you shouldn't think about it again. So this is a good fit. When I take the Cavesson off again, I'm going to unclip the throat latch, undo the top, let it slide down. And that is a polite way of handling your horse's face. Because you don't want to handle your horse's face in a way that causes them to distrust your hand, to elevate their head, or to be worried about all of the very sensitive places on their face. A horse's face is delicate and deserves respect, and it's probably one of the most mishandled places on their body that happens on a daily occurrence. So when we're developing trust with the horse in our hands, it's very important that when we're near their face, we slow our hands down, We slow and think about our equipment before putting it on, and we handle them with care and respect, so that when we're at their face, as we will be often in in-hand work, they don't already have an aversion to us being close to their face through bad experiences.